Thank you for doing this. I'm amazed. I never thought I would speak to anyone around Zelensky. And I know you're doing this at some great risk to yourself. So thank you very much. So you were President Zelensky's press secretary.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me. And I never expected to see myself here talking about my former boss, Volodymyr Zelensky. I used to work for him for 2 years, since 2019 till 2021.
How did you wind up working for him?
Volodymyr Zelensky announced the job via Facebook, and everybody started applying. And I didn't want to apply first because I thought he would take someone, nepotically.
Yes.
But there was an open application, and I went through 4,000 of applicants. It's not a joke. And then actually I need to prove myself that I can do a job and that he can trust me. But we found the common ground. And I think I was very faithful towards him,
Yes.
And I supported him. And I supported him in 2022 when Russia made its large-scale invasion. As millions of Ukrainians, I was grateful that he stayed in the country.
Yes.
That's why it's so strange and desperate for me to be here and to talk who he really is. I don't have personal vendetta, but I believe that he is one of the biggest obstacles towards peace today. So I wanted to tell the people who he is.
Who is he?
First of all, he's not a person whom you see on camera. He's a very different person. He changes masks all the time. He is emotionally uncontrollable.
Emotionally uncontrollable.
Yeah, he doesn't control his emotions. He's often hysterical, and he thinks that every person is disposable. He doesn't have empathy that he plays. He's absolutely insanely great actor, and that brought us a lot of support in 2022. But his acting doesn't have any substance, and everything that he is saying, it's so detached from the reality.
Yes.
And majority of the things that he's saying, it's either manipulation, or it's a fact that is being taken from the context, or it's pure lies. And millions of people still believe that supporting Zelensky means supporting Ukraine. But
Yes.
today it's different. And Tucker, I would like to say, I'm not here to justify Russian invasion. I'm not
Right.
here to justify Putin. What Russian army is doing in Ukraine equals crimes against humanity.
Yes.
But this war is not black and white anymore. It's dark and even darker. We just see Putin as an evil, but Zelensky is also an evil. He's just a hidden one. He plays such a teddy bear, on camera. But then when the light goes off, he's a grizzly bear, and he destroys the people. It's almost surreal to recollect that almost every Western leader and Western delegations that were coming to Ukraine before the war, they treated Zelensky as a political novice. They saw he was low-educated, unqualified, and low depth. But then overnight, he just turned into this great face of democracy.
Yes.
But it feels like the West created the myth, fell into it, and, that the West keeps ignoring the fact that beneath that Zelensky's rhetoric, heroic rhetoric, he keeps accumulating power. And I'm not afraid to say he keeps hollowing the very same people he claims to save. It's pretty strong to say, I know that. But I believe that, people need to understand that if you want to support Ukraine, the only way to support Ukraine today is to push for the peace deal. This is the only way that Ukraine can survive, because I believe we are on the verge of extinction. Somebody is talking about 2-3 years of war anymore. It just doesn't come up with numbers, with demography, with anything, with all those suffering that's happening in the country.
Tell me, no, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I agree. I'm not Ukrainian, but I don't understand the point of this. I mean, I have many questions about how and why it started, but what's beyond question is Ukraine as a nation is being eliminated. That's obvious to me, biggest country in Europe. So it's a big deal. Since you mentioned numbers, how many people live in Ukraine? So when you started working for Zelensky, you worked for the government of Ukraine, 2019. How many Ukrainians were there in Ukraine?